I managed to get over 120,000 followers in less than 30 days with over 86 million views. Now, I used to think this was luck, that going viral and managing to get all of these numbers felt something so far-fetched. But I managed to do this before and managed to get over 100,000 followers in 10 days. Now, before you buy into the concept that, oh, I can make 100,000 followers in 10 days, I can get over 120,000 followers in less than 30 days. The truth is, you can. But there's a big part where many people don't tell you about. I've been trying to create content for 13 years. Now, I really started to focus and create content for the last 5 years. But the thing is, I was very consistent with what I was doing, but I was consistently posting the wrong things. The thing is, success leaves clues, and it's easy for you to replicate and not recreate the wheel. And this is something that I refuse to do. Why? Because I had this big ego that I wanted to be unique. I wanted to do everything myself, that I wanted to take praise. And that stopped me from ever attaining the outcome that I wanted. Until one day I actually sat down and realized that, wait, I've been doing this for too long now, and doing it my way evidently isn't working. And I remember a friend sent me a video, and I managed to recreate that video with my own style, and I managed to get good traction. That was my first viral video. And that's when I started to get audience for being Chinese and for being Colombian. Now, that was a time of my life where I started to get a lot of views, a lot of followers. But there was one thing. I didn't know how I recreate all of those followers, because all I knew how to get those followers was by saying my dad's Chinese, my mom's Colombian. And then I used to think, oh, maybe I'm just lucky. Maybe it's just because I'm Chinese and I'm Colombian, the reason that I have all of these followers. And it made me feel so empty that I kept on posting. And the moment it didn't get the views that I wanted to get, I would beat myself down. And I allowed those numbers to get to my head. I was just so focused on these vanity metrics that eventually the pressure got so much that I stopped posting for 30 days. Then I realized no one cares about you as much as you think they do. And I realized, wait, I don't want to do this anymore. It felt so empty. And that's when I had a complete mindset shift, and I told myself, I want to start creating content that actually has value to me. And it's funny because in 2021, I always say this story, I was crying in this single bed at my mom's house. And I said, I have this dream, I don't know how it's going to come about, but I want to help people see their value even when they don't see it in themselves. And when I decided to finally make a change was in September 2024. I've got a video posted here, I'll post it in the link somewhere. I'm about to do something crazy, and for a lot of people, it's not going to make any sense. On the 13th of June of 2021 at 11:18 p.m, I got out my notes and I decided to write this. I don't know why, but ever since I was a kid, I've always had this desire that I want to make an impact in this world. I want to be able to inspire, but I've just never known how. One day, randomly, I just decided to grab my phone. I said my dad's Chinese and my mom's Colombian. And ever since then, I've generated over 100 million views and over 400,000 followers. At the start, all of this attention felt great, and I just kept on doing the same thing, and my account kept on growing. With every video that I was posting, I was getting over 15,000 followers, 95,000 followers, 20,000 followers. I was giving people an experience. I was making them laugh, but still, something was just missing. Exactly 2 years after, June 2023, I went to Colombia. I don't know why, for some reason at that time, I was in a very weird point of my life. Like, I just didn't know what I wanted to do. Like, I was just unsure of everything. But there was one thing that you couldn't deny. I was just good at making viral videos. I literally grew my Instagram account to 100,000 followers in less than 10 days. Like, it was working. And I don't believe in coincidences, but one day I bumped into this man. His name is Thomas. And for some reason, this guy decided to speak to me. To give you a brief description of what he looks like the Punisher. For some reason, he wanted to talk to me about my future. In my head, I'm thinking, why do you don't know me, like, why do you want to talk to me? I was lost. I just wanted to hear what he had to say. He told me, get a notepad and write down everything that you want to achieve, any goal. Just have no limits when you write these things down on this piece of paper. For the first time ever, I let my mind flow. There was no limit on what I was writing on this piece of paper. Where I wanted to live, what I was wearing, what I was driving, what I wanted to do. The stuff I was writing down on this piece of paper was crazy. Then he says to me, you can achieve all of these things. It's crazy because that day marked a before and an after in my life. Never have I ever had someone believe in me so much. Sometimes all we need is someone to believe in us, and that is all we need. Because everything that you're capable of doing is within inside of you. There are people that see problems in every single opportunity, and there are people that see opportunities in every single problem. No matter which one you are, you can always change for positive or for negative. So this is where the crazy part is coming. Thanks to me learning the power of going viral, I managed to go to Colombia. Thanks to the power of going viral, I received an award of honor from the Chinese government.
a whole ass country. Learning how to go viral has opened so many doors for me. So I want to teach you guys everything that I know as a thank you. You can give a man a fish and he will eat for a day. Teach a man how to fish and he will eat for a lifetime. All I want to share on my page is positivity. I want to share growth. I want you to become better every single day. I want you to hit your first 1 million views. I want you to get your 10,000 followers. I want you to have that presence online that you want. Is it going to affect me? 100%. Am I going to lose followers? 1,000,000%. Ever since I started posting self-development, I've lost over 10,000 followers. Getting messages like these every single day, they have no price. If this is the price I have to pay, so be it. My dream was to help people acknowledge their value. I said I was not going to stop until I make it happen. You need to understand that you are more than capable of hitting that 1 million views. You are more than capable of posting your first video. The same way Thomas believed in me back then, I am telling you that you are more than capable of doing all those things that you want to achieve. That thing that you want is not coming towards you. You need to go towards it. The first step is scary, but once you take it, you realize it's not as bad as you thought it was gonna be. Is me reaching 1 million followers gonna take a lot longer because I'm taking this route? 100%. Will I still reach 1 million followers? 100%. I would rather get to 1 million followers with my people rather than getting there alone, which is why I want you guys to come on my journey.
Where I wanted to change the content that I was doing. So from on paper, gaining thousands of followers every single day, to all of a sudden speaking about what was important to me, which was self-development, and losing over 20,000 followers. On paper, it seemed like I was doing everything wrong. Now, I told myself at that point that people don't care about you as much as you think they do. So you need to start caring about yourself. And that's when I started to actually learn the law of detachment, where I didn't care about the outcome. I didn't care about the vanity metric. I stopped looking at followers as just followers. And I started to view them as actual people who were receiving a message. And that's when shit started to make more sense to me. Because the more I was posting content, I was only getting around 200 likes. From gaining 100,000 likes, from gaining 4 million likes on one video, to making less than 10,000 views and less than 200 likes. It was a big shock. And mentally, you think on paper you're doing everything wrong. Now, from completely changing niches, I thought I'd rather do this and actually enjoy the process than just stress about something I don't like. And this is how I went from being invisible to being influential and living full-time with my brand. And this is the step-by-step thing that you need to recreate. Now, the number one thing that many people don't talk about and they let it slide over their head all of the time is the who. You have to condition yourself to be able to do hard things. The reason I say this so much is you need to practice the law of detachment. Don't care about the outcome. As much as you want the followers, as much as you want the views, detach yourself from this, because the only thing that you're going to do is you're going to attach your worth to an outcome that you don't have yet. So every time that you post, you just create frustration because you're hoping, is this the one that's going to hit? Is this the one? That eventually you start to create doubt in your mind, and what that does is stops you from posting. And if you stop posting, that will guarantee that you never get the outcome. Where your value should lie should be in the steps taken to recreate that content, to recreate content that will work. And this is what I'm going to get to later on, so you can learn how to do it. Because once you actually understand how to create content and control the controllables, it's just a matter of time. So this identity shift is the most important thing. And it's exactly what I done. And that's when I promised myself at the start of 2025 that I was never going to miss a post. So since then, I've posted 2 times a day, 5 times a day, even 10 times a day. And I haven't missed since, because I finally enjoyed what I was posting. The message really aligned with who I was. And I didn't do it for the vanity metrics that eventually ended up coming. Now, everyone always speaks about this, just don't care about the outcome. But the only way you can actually detach yourself is by doing something that means something to you, and actually stop viewing these vanity metrics as just views or followers. They are humans, just like you and me. So this leads on to a clear message. You need to know what your content is about. You need to be passionate about it. It has to truly align with your values. For the very simple fact that when you put yourself out there on the internet, there is going to be people that are not going to like your stuff. There is going to be people that are going to throw nasty comments at you. There is going to be people that are going to disagree with you. But if it stands true to you, then you will always be okay with it. Because once you start posting, and I remember I started posting back then, my dad's Chinese, my mom's Colombian, and I had a guy make a whole video just talking shit about me. That video went viral, and all the comments were just people just saying, oh, this guy, that's the only thing he ever talks about, this guy's crazy, this guy this. Now at the time, it really got to me because I was tired of doing that content. So I really felt what they were saying, and it really affected me. But when you really stand true with your values and you believe in what you say, nothing can affect you. I remember before growing up, I was so afraid to speak about God, even growing up in a Christian household. And I was so embarrassed about being Chinese that I promised myself that I'm going to use the very thing that used to break me to make me, which is why I use the name Sunwo, because Sunwo is my Chinese middle name for those that didn't know. And I was so embarrassed of it that I was embarrassed of myself, and I promised myself I was going to make something out of it. So that's why I use the name Sunwo. Now, speaking about God was something I was so afraid of. I was so afraid of, this person isn't going to accept me, this person's going to think I'm cringe, this person's going to judge me. And as I started to grow up, I started to become proud of who I was. Now, to become proud of who you are, you need to have absolute confidence in yourself. And I said what confidence is already, is having absolute certainty in the things that you say and actually following through. Now, many people don't have confidence within self because they never follow through what they say, so they half-heartedly believe, they end up having doubts. So the moment someone tries to go against one of their views, they can't even stand by it because they don't stand by it. So of course it's going to clash, which is why I always say it's always about building the who. Create the best you first. Create something that you're proud of, someone unbreakable, because it's a very mental game. This is what I tell all of the clients that I work with. This is why it's so important to believe in your values, because the moment I started speaking about God, I remember I'd have constant people telling me, oh, you had me lost when you started speaking about God. And I would say, that is why you're lost, because you're going to have a lot of people that are so against it, but the people that are for it are really on your corner. Just think about it. You're on social media to be social, to create friends. Now, we all know that person who has friends, who's friends with everyone, but that person isn't really close with one group that's friends with everyone. You want to have a small group of people who are really connected to you. Now, at the end of the day, social media is a platform to be liked, but you shouldn't do content to be liked. The only content that you should recreate is one that stands with your values, that your younger self will approve of, because eventually you'll connect with people who also think like your younger self, and that's how you create a very close-knitted community that stand by you. And this is what we want. Now that you have your message, the thing that you stand by, your values that align with who you are, now we start to create content. Because many people say content is king, but messaging is king, which creates the content. And of course, the content is king. And this is one thing that I focus on that not many people do. I focus on quality as well as distribution. It's so important because most people want to do this super highly curated video that they spend hours doing. They spend so much mental real estate that the moment they post it, they spend hours, weeks, months to post this video. And when it doesn't do as well as they thought it would, then they get frustrated, demotivated. Now they have to recreate another one, and they have to spend all of that time again. And guess what? Someone is getting more views, putting less work, and getting more results. Now, it's not that that video isn't good, but you can't control the algorithm. You can't control who sees your video. I can't control you seeing this video today. But guess what? Here you are. And that's the way the social media game works. You need to play the cards in your favor. So work with volume and work with quality. And that's why I created something called the LIC. LIC is something I call low input content. It's basically create viral concept videos, which gives you a high chance of going viral without putting that much time into it. And the very reason this is so important is because if you put little time into a piece of content, and again, it has to be quality as well. Because if you put 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour in a video and it doesn't go as well, then you don't feel so bad about it. So it doesn't burn you out mentally, because it's a mental game. This is why most people give up, because everyone can do it, but people just quit, which is why it always goes back to the who, creating that determined character, that resilient character. Once you have that message, how can you create content around it? People think, what is my niche? You are your niche. Think about having a friend. You don't have a friend just because they like cars. Don't speak to me about anything else, only about cars. Or you don't have a friend that says, oh, I like food. Don't talk to me about anything else, just food. No, you can have friends based on your interests and values, because you'll find someone else like that, exactly like you. If you exist, someone else will exist. Every problem that you're going to go through and have gone through, someone has gone through. Now I want you to imagine content like a potato. Now, potato is your values, right? But a potato you can prepare so many different ways. You can have French fries, smashed potato, you can have boiled potato, so many different variations, but it's still a potato. This is your content. The potato is the value, the messaging, self-development, business, whatever you want to do, fitness. Now you can distribute in so many different ways. It doesn't just have to be, oh, I can only talk about fitness. You can change and post the same meaning behind different ways of content. Now, how do you create content? Don't recreate the wheel. You look at your favorite creators, how are they creating content, and just see what's working in live time and just go straight into executing. So many people spend time studying, research, doing this, that they just do theory, but they never actually go out there and practice. That's why with everyone that I work with, I make sure that they get their hands dirty and gritty and just get straight into working. Because you don't learn how to swim by reading a book on learning how to swim. You actually have to go out there and realize that, wait, why am I moving my legs like this? It's not as easy as I thought. Because in practice, you can actually see what the issue is and you can actually understand what is happening. This is exactly what I started to do. I started to create LICs where it didn't take me that much time, that I could post every single day, because I can't spend 3, 4, 5 hours posting one video and then continuously do that for 7 months straight, because eventually you will burn out, because if you don't see the results in X amount of time by this expectation that you create for yourself, then you will quit, which is why you have to play the cards in your own favor. Just play with volume. How much content can I post? Am I recreating content that is working in live time? And the answer is yes, it's just a matter of time, and you keep posting and keep refining. The thing is, there's a lot of things that most people do. Yes, you are consistent, but the reality is that most people are consistently posting shit. They're not honest with themselves. Like everything else in life, oh, this, but that. But the algorithm, no, the problem most of the time is that you are not controlling the controllables. There's so many times I see people post content out there. They're very consistent. They post the right messaging, but the content in itself, they have put no effort into it. Yes, you have to put low input content, but the content in itself has to be bare minimum. It's like wanting to get in shape and you do little bits every single day, but make sure that little bit that you do every single day at the gym is causing enough stimulation for you to have muscle growth. But most of you guys do the bare minimum, complain why you're not getting these results. It's like the work that you're avoiding, that's where you'll see the magic. Put some more time into your content. Learn what this guy is doing. How is the angles? How is the lighting? You're on a visual platform. You need to make sure that you visually attract, because if not, it's never going to work. Is it going to be confusing at the start? Is it going to be hard at the start? Are you going to have doubts? Of course it is, which is why you're in that situation. It's never going to feel natural. You have to break out of it and accept that, okay, this video isn't good. Oh, the angle isn't good. The lighting isn't good. Just go one for one. Or if you don't, if you have the luxury to, get yourself a coach who will show you, do this, do that, say this, say that. This is the problem with most people. They have this ego that they want to do it themselves. I know how to do it. I know how to do it. Well, evidently, having this ego is leaving you in that same situation. Now, most of the case, this is it. There's small few tweaks. It's like athletes who make it to the Olympics, professional runners. The person who came first and the person who came last. The person who came last is still world class. What differentiated him? Those last milliseconds. And that's the same thing with content. It's small major changes. Now, what else is super important in content is emotion. Emotion has to speak through your videos, because you want to give value. People follow you for solving a problem. Now, on social media, like I said, people don't go on social media to just want to be sold to, people want to go to either learn and be educated, to be entertained, or to be inspired. Now, make sure your content does one of these three things. As you go and you start creating content, ask yourself, would I watch this? And the content that you post, it has to have three things: the messaging, the energy, how do you feel when you watch it, the text, does it align with this message, and the sound, does it align? The text, the sound, and the visuals should be speaking the same language, should be giving you the same energy and showing the same message if either one of them was missing. This is what most people don't do. They put a sad song with a very happy video, or they put a sad text with a very happy sound. Like, it doesn't make sense. It has to have correlation. Summarize content creation. You need to focus on making sure you have quality clips, and you focus on distribution, making sure that is aligned with your message. And this is why I tell you it's a marathon. The thing in a marathon is you only get applauses at the start and at the finish. At the start, everyone's cheering you on, but as you're going through, at the middle, no one's cheering for you, it's just yourself. You're doing the same things, mini steps, one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. Then when you get to the end, people clap. This is the same thing with everything. People clap when they see you starting, They see that you're being serious. No one else is clapping for you. You're alone. Your friends ain't supporting you. Your family ain't supporting you. And then at the end, people say, how did you do it? Now, when you're taking all of these steps, all of that builds up for you to get to that marathon. This is the same thing with your content, because now you have so much content distributed that the moment one of your videos go viral and it touches the right audience, your people, you finally find them, guess what? They're going to bleed through and see all of the other content that you have. And with that, what have you sold them on with their time? And now you've converted them into followers, where you've given them all of this content where they can now see through, and they think to themselves, where have you been all of my life? They have finally found you. Now, from there, every piece of content that you get, it's a lot easier because the algorithm now understands, and that's how you start to grow. And that's exactly how I grew 120,000 followers in 30 days, because I kept on posting. I lost 30,000 followers. Then I started to gain a bit of traction. Then one video got 20 million views, and from that video alone, I got 22,000 followers. And guess what? I didn't stop there. I was not even aware of the views because I detached myself so much from the outcome that I didn't see the notification. I kept on posting. Imagine every single video as a worker going out there, trying to get more people. And every worker is different. Some people have more motivation. Some workers are more convincing. Some workers are not the best. But imagine every single video is a worker. How many workers are out there? And they don't stop, because I've had videos that have gone viral after months of me posting. I had a video that was on 200,000 views, and after nearly a year, that video's on 4 million views. That's why I told you, focus on distribution as well as quality, because volume negates luck. Now, because I managed to amass an audience which will align with my purpose and values, I was able to turn it into a business, as this was my personal brand where I showcase who I am as a person, where I do videos where I speak about topics. I do videos where I showcase my life, and I gain trust enough to sell a service where people trust me enough to buy. Because remember, people buy from people they like and people that they trust, more importantly. Because especially as you're doing transactions online, people don't know who you are. How do they know that if they invest in you, that you're going to provide? They need to have trust. If you're watching this video, you know the importance of a personal brand. Attention is the biggest asset you can have in today's economy. And this is something that's going to put you one step further ahead. I wish I had this information, and I want you to take action on it. If you want me to help you grow your personal brand, if you want me to personally help you audit your content, guide you one by one, have direct access, ask me any questions anytime, give you your content roadmap, help you create the content that you want so you can create that audience, and help you create that personal brand that you've always wanted, DM me the word brand on Instagram, and I'll see we're a good fit, and let's get to work. With that being said, if this video managed to help you, comment down in the comment section what was your biggest takeaway. That being said, like, subscribe, and if you want more videos, let me know. As soon as we're out, let's go.